Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video is going to focus on the insane post that Fikile Mbalula made on X. Now for those of you that might not know, Fikile Mbalula is the Secretary General of the ANC, which is one of the highest ranking positions within the ANC. So when Fikile Mbalula speaks, he speaks on behalf of the ANC and also he speaks on behalf of the South African government. And then secondly, there was a video that was aired on Newsroom Africa that I do not understand how it is possible that the editor looked at that and said, okay, no, that's good to air. But let's start off with Fikile Mbalula. So Fikile Mbalula, which I'm assuming is arguably in a very weird position at the moment because one of the ANC's biggest funders, in my opinion, Iran, is currently leaderless and is currently facing bombardment by the United States and Israel. So I don't see that anytime soon Iran is going to come to the aid of the ANC and to bail them out once again after being on the brink of bankruptcy, because there's no evidence, but I think that if you can put one and one together, the ANC was on the brink of bankruptcy before the elections. They were almost liquidated, and suddenly they managed to find 150 million rand to bail them out of that. And then also they found many more millions to run an election campaign. And then shortly after that, Iran became talking point in this country, and suddenly you saw the ANC aligning themselves with Iran, inviting them to come to South Africa to do Navy drills, military drills. I think it's quite obvious for anybody to see that the ANC found a funder in Iran that bailed them out of a couple of things. And you can also see that based on the way that Fikile Mbalula wrote this next post, which is quite shocking. So let's have a look. All right, so you can see Ali Khamenei here with Nelson Mandela, and then Fikile Mbalula says, two freedom fighters meet in Tehran. Lest we forget, prior to Iranian revolution, the Shah regime was a close ally of apartheid regime. The latter was getting oil for a song from the Shah's despotic regime. In 1979, things changed through the leadership of Imam Khomeini, supported by Shahid Ayatollah Shahid Ali Khamenei, to cut ties with racist South Africa. Their stance was clear: Iran cannot have relations with a racist, oppressive regime. Shah's family was exiled and they were welcomed by apartheid regime, and to this day they still own a house in Joburg. We must not forget our friends. So Fikile Mbalula goes back 50 years to try and talk positively about the Iranian supreme leader that was executed a couple of days ago. This is the same person that has caused havoc in his country by forcing women to wear jihadis, and if they didn't, they could get flogged publicly or even executed. Women's rights went down the drain, which is ironic considering the ANC every single day reminds this country of how severe gender-based violence is and how we need to do everything in our power to enable and empower women and children. But then you got him speaking positively about a supreme leader that pretty much took all women and children's rights away. And I want to not mention it because YouTube censors it when you mention it. So I'm going to mention it in a way, hopefully, that YouTube doesn't pick up, which is the government of Iran allowed men to marry from 9 years on and could divorce them hours later or a day later. Why? We all know why. So children from the age of 9 was allowed to be forced into marriages, and then an hour later or a day later they could just divorce them and be a hero. So and of course the fact that in the last 2 months that regime killed close to 30,000 of their own people for protesting peacefully against their government. Not talking about all the executions over the last 5 decades, not talking about any of that. You know, the 1,500 people that were brutally murdered in the 90s, executed by this individual. What I don't understand is how the ANC can justify talking positively about a man that caused the killings of tens of thousands of people, took women and children's rights away completely. Is this something that we as South Africans must look forward to under the ANC, where you are praising somebody that has killed tens of thousands of people and taken people's rights away? Do you see why so many of us in this country absolutely despises the ANC? Because in what world do you look at this stats from an individual and you go, this person's worth praising because he fought against apartheid? So you could have fought against apartheid, and with his reasoning, you can then go and rape somebody, murder somebody, and cause mass executions and limit people's human rights. But it's okay because, many decades ago, you fought to end apartheid. It's just astounding how this is accepted in South Africa. He can go on and praise somebody that is a mass killer of people, his own people, which makes it even worse. And it's just accepted. And then if you think, oh, but, that's the worst thing that happened. No. Look at what Newsroom Africa aired on their channel for everybody to see.
Bar Israel. Raise both hands. Bar Israel.
That is death to Israel.
Stand. Bar Israel. Everyone, raise your hands. Bar Israel. Bar America.
Death to America.
Bar America. Bar English.
France.
Bar France.
So as you can see, this is a memorial service for Iran's supreme leader held in Joburg at the bottom, and this is aired by Newsroom Africa for everybody to see. So mainstream media is literally posting this South African that is asking for the death of America, death of Israel, death of France, etc., etc. Like, what is happening here? Like, have we completely lost the plot? Because we are aligning ourselves with the skunks of the world. We have a South African in this country singing that song, a mainstream media outlet covering it and airing it without any issues. And we've got one of the top ANC officials, politicians rather, that is praising this individual that has caused so much suffering and death in his own country. And then people and the media go, no, but you see, the problem in South Africa are white people. The problem in South Africa are right-leaning, or according to them, right-wing people. And I'm sitting here going, like, is this really accepted? Like, do leftists truly believe that you can kill tens of thousands of people, take people's rights away, flog women and children in public and execute them, and you can have people that says death to Israel, death to the United States, and death to France, and more, and it is just accepted? And you don't see a lot of outrage by other mainstream media outlets about this. So this is fine. You can do these things, and you can support terrorists, and you can support people that kill their own citizens, but God forbid you speak positively about Donald Trump or what the United States is doing in fighting this country and this regime. And you see, it just doesn't make sense to me. Am I losing my mind? To me, it just feels at the moment like the world is upside down. The people that are actually fighting for what is right and just are dragged in the media and are belittled and insulted and attacked on social media. And the ones that are supporting a regime that has caused terror for their people and have killed tens of thousands of people, they are praised. And then a segment of memorial services aired in which the person from South Africa is asking for the death of Israel, America, and France, and more countries. And the only thing that I can conclude in all of this is the world has gone crazy. Because I know that I'm not crazy, and I'm sure you watching this who agrees with me, you're not crazy. But this is how far mainstream media has gone in this country. And this is how whack the ANC also has become, and desperate for money. So I just find it really disturbing and problematic that in this country, when somebody publicly and on Newsroom Africa broadcasting it asks for the death of people, that nothing happens to that individual. And this was recorded in South Africa, and I'm sure that that individual is a South African. And then you've got one of the senior leaders of the ANC that is pretty much writing a gloating review of the former supreme leader, when everybody can just go and check what has actually happened under his watch. And we are considered the evil people in South Africa. You know, people that speak out against the government, that has a different viewpoint than mainstream media in this country. We are considered batshit crazy for supporting what is righteous and what is right. And they are supporting dictators that kill their own people and take all their rights away. Go figure. This is South Africa in 2026. And it's hella concerning, because at what point do you go, okay, well, the ANC has time and time again showed us their true colors, and now they are going so far as to praising somebody that not even 2 months ago killed 30,000 of his own people because they decided to protest peacefully. There's something wrong with this country. There's something wrong with the leadership of this country. And it seems that mainstream media is not going to do their job in exposing it. The alternative media guys that are actually doing the job of mainstream media, we are portrayed in a negative light. Like we are either racist, homophobic, Islamophobic, all the obics that you can get. But they're not doing their jobs in telling the world who the ANC stands behind and who funds the ANC in essence. So it's just a weird place to be in at the moment, where you would expect that mainstream media that did a phenomenal job in exposing apartheid and bringing attention of it to the rest of the world is now doing as little as possible to expose what the ANC government is supporting in this country, and the narratives that the ANC is driving in this country, and the policies that they've implemented that is pretty much exactly the same as what the apartheid government did when it comes to racial classification. So to conclude this video, I'm absolutely speechless that the ANC would publicly support this supreme leader, or former supreme leader. Hopefully he's burning in hell for all eternity. But what I'm more disappointed about is just the lack of mainstream media not exposing this nonsense, not only to South Africans, but to the rest of the world. And that just clearly once again indicates to me that mainstream media of today is not the same mainstream media that fought against apartheid. Because how can you fight against race-based legislation then, but now stay quiet on 147 race-based laws in this country? And you fight evil back then, but now you stay quiet when ANC members praise this evil. Make it make sense. To me, it doesn't. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smash the like button. Share this video far and wide. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free. And if you'd like to support me financially, you can become a member to this channel by clicking the join button below. And that's pretty much all I got to say, everybody. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre.